Okay, welcome back everyone to TTG New Zealand Festival, New Zealand Fest. For those of you who joined us earlier, Ali Hampton from First Class Holidays will be able to join us after all. She will come on directly after this session at 11:30, so it would be great if you guys can stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, we'll revert to the original schedule, which is session 2, and today I'm joined by Lily and Sophie, who you've probably seen in some previous sessions already from Tourism New Zealand. That's Lily Douglas, Trade Executive for Tourism New Zealand, and Sophie Brooks, who's Trade Marketing Executive for Tourism New Zealand. And they're going to be taking us on a virtual FAM to tour Otahuna Lodge in Christchurch and Bay of Many Coves in Marlborough Sounds. It's going to be in the form of a couple of videos, and then they'll come on and chat you guys through it a little bit. And at the end, we'll be taking questions. So please do ask all your questions and have some kept aside in the notes to ask us at the end. And we will also come to them throughout the session as well. And just remember to also answer the questions in the polls tab for your chance to win prizes. And that will be great. So here is the first video on Otahuna Lodge.
Hi, I'm Hawk Hannon. I'm the owner and general manager of Otahuna Lodge, and we're really excited to welcome you today and talk to you a little bit about the extraordinary place we call home. Otahuna was originally built in 1895 by Canterbury pioneer Sir Heaton Rhodes as a pretty extravagant wedding present for his young wife, Jessie. Today, 126 years later, we tell an extraordinary array of stories from the lodge. This is a space to savor. Follow me, and we'll get going on our tour. Otahuna is located in Taitapu, just outside of Christchurch, in the amazing province of Canterbury. Come with me, and we'll see the entry hall here at the lodge. Throughout Otahuna, there's a tremendous amount of woodwork, the vast majority of which is kauri or rimu, both great New Zealand hardwoods. And here in the entry hall, you get a real sense for what Otahuna is all about. Rich, extravagant decor, ceilings that have been hand-painted, and a collection of entirely all New Zealand artists. In this way is the drawing room. This is where guests would have cocktails and canapes every evening at Otahuna. It has fantastic wall coverings on the wall, again, a great collection of New Zealand art, and perhaps most importantly, a piano which came to New Zealand in 1927 on the royal yacht HMS Renown. This is the dining room at Otahuna. It's in fact the least changed room here within the entire lodge. And for many people, they best know this room for its wallpaper, because this is in fact the original 1895 wallpaper. It's this very, very thick pressed paper with gold leaf on top of it, handcrafted in Japan, and it's been with us now for 126 years. So now let's go and see a few of our 7 amazing suites here at Otahuna. Come with me. Welcome to the Rhodes Suite. So this is one of our largest suites here at Otahuna. It was in fact originally Heaton's bedroom when he first built the property. It's a pretty fantastic spot here at the lodge. You've of course got your own veranda looking out at the Great Lawn, the daffodil fields, and then all the way out to the Southern Alps in the distance. Naturally, like all of our rooms at Otahuna, you have a fireplace in it. And then through this door over here, you even have your own dining space in what we call the turret, where you can, of course, enjoy breakfast or dinner in your very own suite. Here we are in the veranda suite. This is actually one of my favorite suites here at Otahuna. It's in fact the bedroom that was used for visiting dignitaries who stayed at the lodge when it was first built, including the Duke and Duchess of York in 1927 who joined us here at Otahuna. And then in this way, we come into one of our fantastic bathrooms here at the lodge. Each of them is quite spacious. You'll always find a separate tub and shower configuration, and of course, that prerequisite fireplace again, making it a fantastic spot to enjoy a great glass of New Zealand bubbles while you're enjoying a great soak in the tub. So this is, of course, the veranda of the veranda suite. It's a pretty fantastic spot. It's over 13 meters or 40 feet long, spanning the entire front of the house, and it's reserved exclusively for guests staying with us here in this suite.
Hi guys, my name is Miles Rifo and I am the other managing director here at Otahuna Lodge. I hope you have enjoyed your quick look at the interior, and it would now be my pleasure to show you around the outside. We are set in a 125-year-old garden that we've been restoring for the last 15 years. So if you'd like to follow me, we'll start to have a look. Come on. So we are now in the Dutch garden, so named because it was a kind of style of British garden borrowed from the Dutch around the turn of the 20th century. Here the geometry is made through the patterned boxwood. It's a little early really to see a lot of color in the garden yet, but in a couple of weeks it will be filled with colorful shrubs, all in the structure of the boxwood. Here we are in Otahuna's daffodil paddock, which is a highlight of a visit to the lodge in this time of year, which is spring. The paddock has more than 1 million daffodil bulbs in it, which produce several 100,000 flowers every year. And you can see it makes a very, very yellow show.
My name's Jimmy McIntyre. I've been at Otahuna for nearly 18 years. So it's a long time for a chef. It's a very special place though. You could say I have the dream job. I was really going to do something today more vegetable focused, purely because of what we grow in the gardens. A huge amount of produce comes off this garden, especially in the summertime. We grow over 140 varieties of fruits, vegetables and nuts. Of course we have our own pigs and our own sheep as well. And I'll just give that a snip. Beautiful fresh herbs, you can't beat it. So here's some fennel, some Florence fennel. Really lovely little baby ones. And some beautiful parsnips here. These little broccolini, or broccoletti here, so the little tiny ones, and they're really lovely and sweet. So that's going to be the main ingredient of one of my dishes, so we'll get a few of these. Got a small orchard, mainly apples and pears, and there's also plums, quince, a few figs, but the deer keep eating the figs. And we've got 7 hazelnut trees, which is really nice. Hazelnuts are beautiful, one of my favourite nuts. Big mulberry tree up there. Got a couple of bees over there, and this is an area where we get our porcinis. Oh, here's some sorrel. We'll put that on with the first course we're going to do this afternoon. All right, let's do it. Okay, here we go. We've got our produce from the garden, which I'll explain in just a moment. I'm going to pair them with some salmon, really beautiful fresh salmon from down near Stewart Island. We call this 40-degree salmon, and that means we cook it at 40 degrees Celsius, which is a really low temperature. But this is a salted buffalo curd. This comes from Clevedon in the North Island. We've got some amazing black tomatoes, and all I've done is lightly salt them, so we're just going to plonk them down like that. And I've got some lovely broccoli. So this is the broccoli picked from the garden, 4 little broccolini, and all I've done is blanched it in boiling salted water for 30 seconds. I've got a tiny bit of olive oil here. I don't need a lot. Whack this in the pan. And you see that's really, really hot. And doesn't take long. It really is quite special. And then I've got this beautiful little baby asparagus, which is a real treat. It really is lovely. I'll take out this salmon. The proteins are just starting to come out, but it's still pretty much raw. Warm through, it's not even really hot. Sit that in the middle. And this is where we really get to finish the dish. And then this is a pea puree. You could spoon it on the plate if you like. And then we've got some lovely herbs. So here we have some beautiful mint, which I just picked from the garden. Obviously we want it to look beautiful, but the most important thing for me is the flavour. Now this is the wild sorrel. These have got a really lovely lemony, limey flavour to them. We've also got some beautiful fennel here as well, nearly there. Pickled lemon. We pickle these lemons ourselves. They're just pickled with salt and aromatics. It's just that salty, lemony hit. And this some fennel bulb. They're just dusted with a little icing sugar, not too much. And then we'll put, say, 3 of those around the plate. They got a little crunchy, but also a little chewy at the same time. Really like them. A little bit of salt in there as well, so you get that nice balance. Now the last thing I'm going to serve it with is just a tiny bit of olive oil. But our olive oil comes from our neighbours over the back here. Sharon dropped this off for us the other day. You can see how it really just brings the dish alive. So there you go, just a little taste of a full-course dinner that we're doing this evening. It's a magical place, and when you come, you'll see why.
It's been great showing you all around today. We've loved the chance to have you see a little bit about what makes Otahuna so special, and we can't wait to welcome you here with us at Otahuna again. Thanks so much.
Well, kia ora everyone. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us in today's session. I hope that you enjoyed that little glimpse into one of our luxury lodges, Otahuna. So Otahuna is located in Taitapu, which is in Christchurch, and probably about 20 minutes from the city centre. So I saw a little question in the chat box from Meg about how easy it is to access Otahuna, the Christchurch city from Otahuna. And it's a really easy 20-minute drive. A lot of people travelling to Otahuna are probably self-driving, so they'll have their own vehicle that they can access the city and have that kind of freedom to explore. Otherwise, if you do have clients who are hopping between lodges, they might be travelling by helicopter, which you can land right on the front lawn in Otahuna, which is really special. So if that's the case, it's a really easy organisation of a transfer, and the lodge can help you with that. But I don't know if you heard at the beginning of that, but Otahuna was actually built by Sir Heaton Rhodes as a gift for his wife Jessie. So maybe for the ladies in the listening today, worth sending this to your partner and give a bit of a hint for your next gift. I know I'm going to be incredibly upset if I don't get an extravagant manor when I get married. But Otahuna, though, is a relay and chateau property, so it's definitely one of those accommodation offerings for a more luxury traveller. So I appreciate it's not going to suit everyone's budget that we have listening in today, but we just really wanted to showcase something that you maybe haven't seen before, so you can get a bit of a feel for the variety of accommodation that you can find in New Zealand. But one thing it didn't quite cover in the video is the rate. So Sophie, I wonder if you could take us through a quick overview of how much Otahuna would cost for a night.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Lily, and kia ora, everyone. So obviously the rates will vary throughout the year depending on when you're deciding to visit or when your clients wanted to go. So in low season, you're looking at around 2,500 New Zealand dollars, which equates to just over 1,000 British pounds. And then in peak season will be your highest rate, around 5,000 New Zealand dollars, which is around 2,300 pounds. And then shoulder season sits between that, so about 3,700 New Zealand dollars, which is around 1,700 British pounds. So the lodge itself is actually closed between June and July and reopen mid-August. So there's a time when you wouldn't be able to visit, but all those rates include accommodation, Wi-Fi and laundry service, cooked breakfast, 4-course tasting dinner with wine pairings, and a pre-dinner drinks with canapes. So extremely luxury experience. And we did get to meet Jimmy in the kitchen, and he talked us through one of his plates. And it was really special to see produce that's grown on the land. You know, he's just walking around and he's like, oh, there's some sorrel, there's this, there's that. So, and, you know, the neighbours giving them some ingredients as well. It's really beautiful to see how the land can create something that brings onto your plate. So like straight farm to table style. And even though this might not be an experience for your clients, I think it's really nice to just reiterate that fact of like meeting the personalities around New Zealand and these people that run these establishments and products and everything around New Zealand. So it's really great to kind of get a glimpse of the different people and who bring these products to life.
I totally agree with that. I was lucky enough to meet Miles and Hall earlier this year on a Famil group that we took down in April, and we had lunch there and were hosted by them. They are such incredible hosts. I could have stayed there for days kind of talking to them and chatting, like learning about their story and chatting to them about kind of how they came to coming to New Zealand. I think they're from New York originally, and, you know, how they came to acquire the property. It's a really interesting kind of pathway for them, and these are the kind of personalities that you're going to encounter in New Zealand. And I can't kind of stress, you know, the impact that those kind and interesting people can have on your clients' trips. But for those who don't have clients that are maybe looking at staying at luxury lodges at that level, but still want that real personal kind of feel when it comes to their accommodation, then bed and breakfasts are a really great option. You're still going to get that connection with those warm and welcoming Kiwis, which we know a lot of UK visitors are looking for when they're travelling to New Zealand. And of course, you may have remembered this from the film, but a top tip, if you do have clients who are a good fit for Otahuna, at the start of spring, their daffodil garden kind of comes into bloom, and that's right at the front of the property. So you see it as soon as you drive into it, and they have over 1 million daffodils that kind of come to life. So it's an incredibly beautiful time to opt to stay at Otahuna.
Yeah, and popping it into an itinerary is really easy. As Lily mentioned, it is just a 25-minute drive outside of Christchurch and Christchurch Airport. And Christchurch Airport obviously brings in the international long-haul flights as well. So if your clients are starting their journey or ending their journey from Christchurch, it's a great way to top and tail their itinerary. So you can put this at the start of their experience or at the end. Or if they are coming via Auckland, obviously the main international gateway, it's a great way to kind of put it in the middle of their itinerary. And with the free laundry service as well, it's that added kind of bit of just being able to refresh and revitalize before heading off onto their next adventure. So it can be really easily fit into the itinerary just with its proximity to Christchurch. But yeah, Lily, we're having a few questions come in. Is there a minimum night stay? And do Otahuna have any family rooms?
I don't think there's a minimum night stay all year round, but I think there is a 2-night minimum stay during peak season, which is quite common for the luxury lodges in New Zealand. But then off peak, so another reason that shoulder season might be really good, you can do 1-night stays. So I would just check at time of booking. It depends on when your clients go. And in terms of family rooms, I think at Otahuna they allow children over 13. So they do have a couple of bigger suites, but most of them are kind of more catered for adults rather than kind of a full family. So if you do have children, you might like to look at getting a second room, but there's 7 rooms that are all quite different. So your tour operator can probably help you kind of choose which one is perfect depending on the group size that you have.
Cool, thank you. So that kind of covers Otahuna, and we're going to move on to our next accommodation, where we're bringing something really unique from the Bay of Many Coves in Marlborough Sounds. I've actually just come off the back of living for a year in Wellington, and just across the Cook Strait you can get to Marlborough. So you can take the inter-island ferry and get across to the bay. And the region's really famous for its sounds and its wine, so it's a really beautiful part of the country and can bring really spectacular scenery and incredible properties scattered around. So we'll take a look at the next video now, and you can have an insight into the Marlborough Sounds.
Kia ora, my name's Graham and I'm the General Manager down here at the Bay of Many Coves here in the remote Marlborough Sounds. Behind me, 62 hectares of regenerated native bush, plenty of space to roam, and when you're done up there, got all this water here for you to play in as well. Let me show you my place. So as you've just experienced, lovely 30-minute water taxi ride out here to the Bay of Many Coves jetty. Another way you might want to consider coming out here, right at the top of the property, we've got a helicopter pad where we can land a couple of helicopters up there, bring you in out of Wellington, 25 minutes from downtown Wellington to the resort, or maybe from Nelson across, again, about a 25-minute trip. Another couple of options, maybe if you're considering doing some fishing or dolphin watching while you're down here in the Sounds, use it as a way to transfer in. So take a transfer in on Tory, which is a fishing charter boat out of Picton, or maybe with Paul and the team at Eco Tours, who will take you on a dolphin watch as you head up here towards the resort and then drop you off at the end of the day. All great options to get here, but hey, let's go and have a look at some rooms. Come and have a look. So we have a range of apartment sizes here. We have 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom apartments, as well as our premium Kiruru suite up the top of the property. All the rooms here at the Bay of Many Coves share one thing in common, and that is that fabulous, spectacular view out across the bay. Important to note that all our apartments are standalone, so they don't interconnect. So if you're looking for that extra level of indulgence while you're staying down here at the Bay of Many Coves, come and have a look at Keru. Keru is our premium suite. Sits right at the highest point on the property. 2-bedroom footing, 2 bathrooms. On your arrival, we have a bottle of French champagne. Our chef puts together a beautiful gourmet platter for you. The whole idea behind Keru is just to sit back, relax, take in the beautiful views, and just indulge yourself. And in addition, Keru has a 58 square metre deck. You have your own private hot tub, and most importantly, that spectacular view out across the Queen Charlotte Sound. Your Bay of Many Coves experience isn't complete without a visit to the Marutu Day Spa, the ultimate relaxation and indulgence. So up behind the property here, 62 hectares of regenerated native bush. The very, very top of our property up here is our lookout. That lookout takes views all the way down into Waikawa Bay, down towards Picton, and also down the Tory Channel, which is the entrance and exit point for the inter-island ferries. Following the ridgeline all the way across the top, at the very top there is our access through to the Queen Charlotte Track. The Queen Charlotte Track is a world-renowned great walk, 74 kilometres from Ship Cove in the north down to Anakiwa in the south. Coming back down, we turn round and we head along our coastal track over this way. And this coastal track will take you all the way down into Aratawa Bay. If you're looking for something else that may be a little bit different and you don't fancy climbing up the big hills, then jump on a water taxi out here, head out the end of Snake Point and round the other side of the bay, cross the other side to Ship Cove, and then walk around to, they'll drop you off and then walk around to Furno Lodge. And maybe grab a spot of lunch at Furno Lodge before jumping on the water taxi back here to the resort. Once back in the lodge, a really nice idea is to jump on one of the watercraft. We've got kayaks, dinghies, paddle boards and a beautifully restored clinker dinghy. And it's really lovely on a day like this to get out on the water and enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Bay of Many Coves and the beautiful Queen Charlotte Sound here at the top of the South Island. I'd be delighted to be able to show you through today. Look forward to welcoming you back again. But for now, please enjoy something local.
Oh, I love Bay of Many Coves. It's one of my favourite spots because the landscapes are just incredible. There I see Salome. We didn't quite make it on our Famil to New Zealand to Bay of Many Coves, but it is really peaceful there. So Bay of Many Coves is, in terms of cost, is probably going to be from 1,700 New Zealand dollars per night, so that's about 800 pounds, and can go up to 5,000 New Zealand dollars a night, which is 2,500 pounds for their more premium Kereru suite option. So again, a little bit of a luxury choice as well. They do here have a minimum 2-night stay at Bay of Many Coves, and actually I was reflecting on that from the last question about minimum night stay as we were watching that video. And one kind of tip that I would have if you do have clients who are staying in kind of those luxury accommodation properties is I would really recommend, even if there isn't a minimum night, is definitely staying at least 2 nights, if not 3. What they can offer at luxury lodges is so incredible, and they're often situated on really big landscapes. Often a lot of them are working farms, which could be 5,000 acres, and there are so many activities that you can do on site. Plus you really want to be able to spend time and really sit in the rooms and enjoy kind of everything that they can offer. So I do kind of recommend that you kind of try and build in a couple of nights stay if you are doing that luxury level, and it also gives you a bit of time to get out and explore the surrounding region as well. But this is a great option for families too. They do have 2-bedroom apartments available, and as you could see through that video, there is a lounge and kind of a small kitchenette that connects the bedrooms. So they're really nice and spacious, good for kind of multiple couples or families traveling together. And as I said, this property is really all about the setting. It's so special to kind of be within the New Zealand landscapes, and especially in that Marlborough Sounds area. I know that every time I've stayed there, I've come away from it feeling really relaxed and kind of rejuvenated.
Yeah, and Lily, we've just had a question come in from Sarah who's asking about the best time to stay. And I know obviously you've been around the area, so what's your kind of personal experience of Marlborough Sounds throughout the seasons?
Yeah, I definitely think the shoulder season is really nice because it's quite nice when you're staying there when it's a little bit quieter and not all the rooms are full. So in summer, the Marlborough Sounds gets really busy because you've got a lot of Kiwis that have holiday homes kind of in the bays around, and then the resort itself is going to be quite full too. So I would definitely recommend either that springtime, so kind of after October and November when it's starting to get a little bit warmer, so you can, take advantage of the water activities that they offer at the Bay of Many Coves, or the other side of autumn when you're still enjoying those kind of long, warm summer days that kind of lead through kind of March, April, May. They would definitely be the best because I think it's so special to be there and there not be too many people around and kind of feel like you've got it to yourself a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think as well, you've touched on it, but it's the landscape that makes this area so incredible, and also the kind of process of getting to the resort is part of the journey and part of the whole experience. So getting a water taxi from Picton, or he spoke about getting the helicopter across. Obviously, that's more kind of high-end luxury option, and there are private charter options as well to get there. So it's really just pulling together the whole experience, and like you say, spending that bit longer there and really being able to explore the area, and also having the Queen Charlotte track on the doorstep. If you do have clients who are looking for those hikes and outdoor experiences, it's a real good gateway to kind of like make your way over there. And both properties that were shown can be booked via a tour operator in the UK, so super easy kind of get in, and obviously planning ahead and just making sure there's that availability for booking. But yeah, it's just really incredible to see the kind of difference in the landscapes. Near Christchurch, you're kind of getting that history and heritage, whereas out here, you're really getting that regenerated bush and beautiful landscapes. So yeah, and also the chance to see some dolphins would be cool. I know I saw a few rocking around Wellington, so no doubt there's lots rocking around Marlborough Sounds as well.
There definitely are, and it's quite cool to be on your balcony and just looking out into the bay and there being wildlife. But I do kind of think that's the beauty of New Zealand, where we do have quite a few different types and styles of accommodation. And I think especially for this market where we're putting together kind of big touring itineraries that are often bucket list trips, I really kind of recommend trying to mix and match some of those accommodation styles. It's a really easy way to elevate your itinerary. And I mean, New Zealand, of course, has a great range of hotels to choose from throughout the country. And we've also got our luxury lodges, which you've seen an example of today, for those of you who have clients that are in that space. So we've got places like Otahuna, and then more modern options like the Lindis Lodge, which is further down south. For those looking for something a little bit more unique, perhaps you could think about adding in a pure pod, which is those fully glass pods that are on private farmland. Similar to Bay of Many Coves, a pure pod is a great way for people to get out into nature. Obviously, New Zealand's landscapes are kind of our biggest draw card for people from the UK. So choosing an accommodation that's situated within a more remote spot is a really nice way to enhance our itinerary. Or for our wine lovers, we're in the UK. I know that you love our Sauvignon Blanc. There's also some great places to stay which are on vineyards as well, which can be quite fun. So there's a couple in the Hawke's Bay at Craigie Range or Blackbarn Vineyards. Or if your clients are in Queenstown, a great one is Gibston Valley, which is just outside of the Queenstown City Centre Gibston Lodge, which is in Gibston Valley. Obviously, plenty of other options across the country as well. But yeah, as you know, we've been saying, the real magic comes from being hosted in these incredible spaces by incredible people. So hopefully those videos have kind of given you a little bit of inspiration on what accommodation options might suit your clients who you're booking in for a holiday in New Zealand. I've seen a couple of questions come through the chat too. Bay Many Coves, you can take anyone of any age there, which is great. And they are all year round. Sometimes they do close in July. So in the winter month, they often take a month off and just do kind of the maintenance during the middle of our winter. But they're pretty much open for the rest of the year. And then you can book Bay Many Coves through many of our tour operators, especially the ones who have a bit more of a luxury feel. So like First Class Holidays that you'll hear from Ellie next, a company like that, or Anne's Crow, which we're hearing from at 12:30. You can book through either of those guys. But I think that's all the time we have left for today.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, guys. That was really comprehensive, and I was just sort of salivating looking at those resorts, mostly because of the food, but also the scenery and everything looked incredible. I was going to come on and ask some questions, but you guys have very deftly already sort of answered those.
Can't stop us talking about these cool places.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. That's the way it should be, because then it's all kind of organic, and yeah, you've answered the questions as we've gone along. So that's fantastic. And we are right on time now to move on to our next session, which thankfully is with Ali. She's back with us. So thanks so much, Sophie, Lily, for joining us. I'm sure we'll be hearing from you guys again. And we are now going to move into the next session. If you guys go back to the lobby and enter the first class holiday session, and we'll see you in there. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jean. Thanks, everyone. Great to see you.